Obviously, this one isn't going to work straight away. Of course. Of course, you know, of course. You always catch the ones you don't care about, and you never catch the ones you do. Hello then, my fellow Pokemon trainers and Legends players. Today, I just want to go over a quick list, 6 or 7 or so, of really powerful Pokemon that you can grab essentially straight away. Most of them from Mission 6 start onwards, the rest by Mission 10 very early in the game, and they are all very powerful, and most importantly, most of them have really ridiculously good Mega Evolutions too. Check the description for how to increase your catch rate to make all of this easier, but for now, let's get into it. So for Dratini and therefore Dragonite, you want to come to this scaffolding that I'm looking at and complete it. It will put you up onto that roof that Pokeball I've yet to collect is currently glowing on, and you can find that pretty much just here in Sector 6. Once you do, you just run along the roof, you'll get to where I am, you can drop down onto it, and then that ladder there that I'm looking at, if you go up, you can find a Hawlucha if you care about that, but for our purposes, we want to head over here. Hopefully I can pull this off before we head to nightfall. Your goal then is this bridge here. Cross over it, and then we can continue down and up and round to the left here. And very soon, you're going to see the object of our interest, a Dratini. Now, this thing is very, very skittish, to say the least, so a couple warnings, and generally these warnings apply to everything that we're doing here. Step 1, you want to save your game, so if it goes wrong, you can just load it, so you don't have to reset the area and come back and climb back on the roof and have another go at catching it, etc, etc. The other then is your level might be a little bit too low to make this comfortably easy. Thankfully, where I'm currently at, Pokemon level 60 or below will listen to your commands, but if you're doing this literally as soon as you're able to, well, that'll say level 25. So you're essentially then going to need to put a little bit of work in to catch this Dratini. And this Dratini is very, very, very skittish. If you attack it, if you throw, if you go near it, it will essentially leave. So you have to knock it out with your first surprise attack and then catch it in the stun, or catch it with an opening surprise Pokeball. So now that I have saved again in range of it, I'm basically just going to give it a go and we'll hope for the best. Obviously, only one chance to catch it, and indeed, it's missed, and off it flees into the ether. Thankfully, though, we can load. And we are back, and essentially, we just keep trying again until it works. Obviously, it's level 29, so as I said, if you are at that threshold where above level 25 is going to struggle to listen to you, you might have to do this quite a few times, but hey, it will happen eventually. And we're off! This is totally going to be the one, and it's totally not the one. If you are wondering how to just reload your save, you just simply close the game on your Switch and relaunch it as a heads up. Either way, with enough reloads and enough perseverance, you will eventually get your Dratini and can take it on that journey into Dragonite. Next up then, you want to head to Wild Zone 4, and this is the most simple, straightforward one that you might have accidentally bumped into yourself already, but I want to throw this in here because I think it's a worthwhile tip in general, and it's also one of my favorite Pokemon. Now, there is obviously day and night cycle in Pokemon Z-A, and like most Pokemon games, you can find different Pokemon depending on whether it's night or day. And that obviously sounds like a kinda duh thing to say, but obviously early game especially, you're spending your nights in the battle zones, earning your challenger tickets and progressing the story. You might not just be exploring the wild zones at night instead of doing that. But exploring them at night is very worthwhile because you get a very different selection of Pokemon at night. Well, at least in some of the wild zones you do. So here in Wild Zone 4, which you get straight away, you have a nice little collection, but one thing that isn't here is a Honedge. However, if you wait until nighttime, and you can do that either by manually waiting or going to any of the benches in the city and resting, or indeed going back to your hotel room and resting to force it to be night. However you do it, it, night falls once more, and you then immediately will start to see some lovely little Honedges wandering around this wild zone. Nothing too crazy, but something I definitely want to highlight, because you can miss a lot of cool Pokemon by simply not checking the wild zones at nighttime and seeing what else might appear. Obviously, you can check on the map what Pokemon you're still missing with the question marks in each wild zone, and if you've thoroughly explored it during the day and there's still one or two you've not found, come back at night. Oh, and if you don't realize or don't remember, you will evolve Honedge via level in mid-30s, and then you use a Dusk Stone on it to get it to aegislash. Next up then, let's talk Riolu and therefore Lucario. You want to come here to this building, and that is the Academy Etol, and it's very, very close to this Pokemon Center, very, very close to the center. There it is in the grand scheme of things. In any case, you head straight on in, and once you have completed main mission 8, and don't worry, I'll show you a Riolu if you're not at least that far, you will have this side quest available for you here. So if we give him a little chat, he simply wants to trade you a Riolu for an Abra, which is a very, very simple, easy, and worthwhile trade to do. You can grab an Abra really quickly via Wild Zone 5 here, and that's all well and good. It is a skittish Pokemon. It will leave if you startle it, but it's also not hard to catch at all. You just sneak up on it like usual and grab one. Once you do, you come back to Bond, James Bond, and offer him the trade. And there we go, a worthy sacrifice to get hold of a Riolu. And there we have it, Riolu is here. Now obviously you might not want to trade one, you might want one a little bit earlier, etc, etc. This is just a simple, easy, guaranteed way to make it happen. The Riolu that you get via this is as follows, level 25, and that's not bad at all. But again, if you want just one fresh in the wild so you can catch multiple, well then follow me. You want to head then to the Pokeball Boutique, which is just in the northwest of the city from the tower like so, and we're wanting to head into this alleyway. You want to turn left from the boutique and then follow it all the way round past these useless Scraggies, and then we end up on this road here, and we're going to simply follow it straight down until we find ourselves a lovely ladder. Specifically, this one right here. Give it a climb and head to the roof, and we will soon come across our desired prey. And make sure that when you first get up here that you have a little look around, tilt the camera, make sure you don't accidentally spook any potential Riolus. Now, of course, for me, it is currently nighttime, and to extend onto what I was saying with Honedge, night and day does matter for a lot of these Pokemon. So for me, there's not a single Riolu in sight. However, if we come back during the day, you will find that a Riolu is waiting for you. Like with the Dratini, you want to make this easy for yourself by having a quick little save so you can close and reopen if something goes wrong, so you don't have to find another one or reset the area and so on and so forth. And we can eventually go round until we're allowed to just hop up in the little gap in the hedge like so. And there we are. Now, obviously, Riolu is a feisty little fellow, so he's not going to actually run away from you, so you don't need to do the sneaky approach. You can fight him like normal and lower him down and just spam Pokeballs until you happen to succeed, waiting out various enrage modes. But yeah, that's where you can get your Riolu, a guaranteed one from a quest, or a rooftop capture here. Now, if you are wondering how to evolve your Riolu, well, as we know, it is during the day and once it has enough happiness. The best way to get enough happiness with your Pokemon is to simply hang out with them at the various cafes around the place. Just chill, order something, and you get this lovely screen where you can see you and your Pokemon having a nice little pause in the busy life of Luminose City, and doing that a handful of times, I'll get your Riolu ready to evolve, and make sure, of course, it's during the day, as it needs to be. That will get that done for you. Next up then is Gible and therefore Garchomp. You want to do Wild Zone 8, which you won't have at literally the very start of the game, but you will have by main mission 9, so still very, very early on, and something worth sharing. Now, it might seem obvious, especially as I hover over it, it just, Gible is one of the things that spawns here. But if, like me, you wander in, you have a look around, you capture everything, and you're like, well, it's not here, I don't understand. Is it nighttime? No, it's not nighttime. This is one of those, again, that's more of a tip than a specific secret Pokemon, but in any case, you have all of these burrow holes. Now, most of them will be useless moles. But if you carefully go round, and I do recommend killing each Pokemon that you uncover, otherwise you'll have a small army after you, and it will make capturing the eventual Gible that much harder, but one of these, every time you walk in, will be a Gible. Now, the Gible will fight you, you don't have to worry about it running off or capturing it quickly, but it can get chaotic very quickly if you, have this going on. And nope, still not that one. Eventually we will find it. It is quite awkward, and nope, still not that one. Occasionally you will get unlucky and there just won't be a Gible hole out of all of the available ones, which is a little bit annoying, and you do have to reset the area and come back, but we do have one single chance left, and no, this time around we did in fact get very unlucky, and there isn't any Gibles waiting for us. Let's try again. Set a wild zone, you can just fast travel back to it even though you're already stood in it, and you will have that going once more, and then you can just run around and check all of the dig holes. You'll be able to tell that it's Gible's one because you'll see his little grey shark fin in it instead of the nose of the mole, so you don't have to run literally right up to all of them, but it will certainly help you. In any case, we are once again getting quite unlucky here, which of course is typical. Now I want to actually demonstrate it, but you will eventually find yourself a burrow that has your little shark friend in. He'll pop out, clear the area, capture him, and you will have the job's a good un. Next up then, you want to go here. Vernal Pokemon Center, directly south from the lovely tower, and we're aiming to go down this alleyway, essentially where it reads Vert Sector 9. This text is our destination. So if we head across the street and then turn left, you will then look right once we get to these rocks. Now you'll need a way to smash through them, so bust out any given fighting move and you will be fine, and then head in. Now this one is quite a lovely little place. See, initially during the day here, you can actually find, there it is, an Eevee, which is of course beautiful. There's lots of evolutions in the game, and Eevee is always a fun Pokemon to have. And give it a nice little sneak up on and attempt that capture. Obviously this one isn't going to work straight away. Of course. Of course. But as usual, do the save before it, reset if you want it again, and then keep trying. That's all well and good, a cheeky little Eevee. We'll cover all the evolutions and such at a later date. But you can also get something else here. Goomy, and therefore Goodra, a really solid dragon Pokemon, and actually one of my favorites. But we need it to be raining for that, so we go to this nice, handy bench, and essentially we just need to keep resting until the weather happens to be rain. It's a little bit of a time waster, but eventually you will have yourself the correct weather. And there we have it. It took about 6 rests on the bench, but it is now raining. And because it is raining, a certain Goomy has come out to play. Now, you don't want to lose this one, especially after how long you've spent making it rain, so definitely give that save trick a go. Make sure you've got a checkpoint before we attempt to capture it, and then off we go down the bridge to make it ours. I don't know if you guys have this as well, but I really like my Pokemon to be in a specific ball relative to them, instead of just using the best one available, so it does make it take longer and longer for me to capture stuff because I'm stubborn that way. In any case, as you can see, it's level 35, so that warning of if you can only control Pokemon up to level 25 does come back in. You might not be able to actually use it properly, and it's going to be much, much harder for you to actually catch, but this is where it is, and hopefully you have better luck than me when it comes to actually catching it. Finally, I got it from a lovely freeze from my Ice Punch here, and there we have it, everyone. If you want to know where to get your own Frogadier and therefore Greninja, as well as all the other starters, we do have a video on that already up on the channel. And indeed, if you want to know how to increase your catch rate to make everything we've talked about in this easier, as I said at the start, we do have a video up on that as well, and it makes a big difference. For now, though, there you go. It's a lovely set of powerful and fun Pokemon to grab, hidden around the place, and very much worth your time in your journey through Legends Z-A. Look forward to many more tidbits and useful nuggets as we go forward on the channel, but for now, have a lovely day, week, and Poke time. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe with the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.